Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be talking about Sorbet Leopard. I know that was hot news at the beginning of the year. We saw it spoken to a number of times on MacYak and other platforms, Take or Different, what have you, and in the Mac Rumors PowerPC forums. And what a neat engineering feat it was, and there was a lot of speak, a lot of praise about its functionality, and online on YouTube there's a number of videos speaking to it. I didn't see much in the realm of benchmarking or measurable metrics, so I think that's kind of what we're going to attempt to address here today. Um, the machine I'm going to be doing that on is an Ibook G4 1.33 single CPU machine. It has 1.25 gigabytes of memory and is obviously running Sorbet Leopard on this particular iteration. You can see I am using the Leopard Rebirth Sierra theme, which is built into Sorbet, and I think that's really neat. Let's go ahead and get into it, guys. Let's see here. Let's bring up my pictures. You can see that GUI is pretty snappy, and that's one of those claims. And we'll bring up some apps and play with them and get an idea and what that's like. Let's take this, get that out of here. Okay. Now let's go ahead and start with Geekbench. Now with a regular old Leopard, this machine scored a 667, and with Sorbet it scored a 695. So, this is the same exact machine, one hard drive split right down the middle. The partition size is the same on the same machine, this Ibook G4. And, that's a significant improvement in score, 660 or 677 to 695. And, how else do you explain that other than the improved, nature of Sorbet Leopard? This will compare the Xbench scores as well. There it goes. And you can see here, let me get this out of the way. Okay, so we've got a 31.56 with Vanilla Leopard and a 34.68 on Sorbet. Everything was tested on both machines. All of the subtests within the Xbench suite were run to generate these scores. And one thing that I found really neat was the CPU test specifically. Leopard tested 58.05 and Sorbet tested 62.48. That's a significant improvement, I think, as well. And again, speaks specifically to the lighter load put on the CPU. It just tests better in a lighter environment. And, I think this really illustrates that. I would highly recommend that you guys take the time to do it if you are so inclined or interested to do so on your own machine. And you'll see that a number of those claims are bore out in those Xbench results, which I think is really neat. So those were the benchmarks that I ran. There's a number of claims on the machine in terms of speed improvements. So I did go ahead and do some speed comparisons between Vanilla Leopard and Sorbet. You can see that booting both OSs from the bong to a functional desktop, Leopard was 1 minute 6 seconds and Sorbet was 1 minute 3 seconds. And that's including understanding that in addition to Sorbet itself, I also have Evernote Flux installing alongside it, along with that Rebirth theme, and it still beat Vanilla Leopard. So that really illustrates, in my opinion, the lighter nature of it, the faster, lighter nature of the build, which is fantastic. Interweb powered PC. It was interesting. Leopard actually beat Sorbet, 11.7 seconds booting to the home page, which was DuckDuckGo, and 13.8 seconds on Sorbet. So you go what a second and a half. I don't know. That's in. I wouldn't worry about it. You know, it wouldn't bother me. I did throw WebKit in there. I don't use WebKit on Vanilla Leopard because it's not stable for me. However, on Sorbet, it runs pretty darn well, and it booted to DuckDuckGo as a home page in 10.5 seconds, beating both iterations of Interweb PowerPC. I am a Mozilla fan, so I still prefer that browser either way. But WebKit was pretty speedy. So for you guys that like that super high performance, or as high of a performance as you can get in your PowerPC machines, I think WebKit is the ticket here. It's pretty neat. 10.5 tube, Wiknix's 10.5 tube. I use it on all my PowerPC machines that can handle it to view YouTube, and bringing it up, starting the app up to having a functional iteration of the mobile YouTube web page. On Leopard was 10.2 seconds, and on Sorbet was 11.4 seconds. So again, a little slower on Sorbet. I was surprised. I expected it to be the other way around, beating it by a second or two. But both Interweb PowerPC and 10.5 tube, it was the other way around. Leopard did beat out Sorbet just slightly. Really, truthfully, when you're using it, you would never notice. I mean, we're talking, between a second and a quarter. I mean, it's so minuscule. So there's some more comparison and comparative data between Vanilla Leopard and Sorbet Leopard. I thought that was really neat. We minimize that. Now let's go ahead and bring up some apps, right? Let me clear this out. Quick. Let's start with Interweb PowerPC. And you can see what I mean. This is more of like a real world test. This is what you would expect with Sorbet on a single CPU, 1.33 gigahertz, PowerPC Ibook G4. And I just noticed I'm on my slow legacy network. Anyhow, there you go. I have brought up Tinker Different. You can see it's an absolutely usable experience. Is it smoother? I don't know. That's really subjective, I think. Truthfully, it seems just as I don't know, what's the word, average as it was with Leopard. I mean, absolutely usable. I was surfing the internet this morning on this machine, but I mean, it's a little jittery, but it's overall it's pretty darn smooth, I think. Yeah. Okay. I want to try another website. Let's go to. Oh, you know what? Let's do this. Let's compare that with WebKit. Let's bring up WebKit and take a look there. Boom. Pretty darn fast. Granted, there's a big difference in my opinion between DuckDuckGo or Google and then a heavier, website like a forum website like Tinker Different or Mac Rumors or something like that. But still, you can see that it was pretty darn quick and pretty snappy. Yeah, not bad at all. Let's go ahead and, just for comparative sake, let's if I could type right. There we go. Continue. So when you compare those back to back, I think that's a pretty similar experience. I do tend to think that WebKit was a little faster, a little bit, beat it out a little bit, but overall, I think they're very comparative user experiences. Let's see what scrolling is like. Yeah, see, scrolling is pretty similar, I think. I think actually scrolling is a little smoother on WebKit, but overall very, very comparative to each other and similar user experiences. I prefer Mozilla-based browsers in general, so I would still be using Wiknix's Mozilla iteration of Interweb PowerPC for G4 machines on this particular machine. Here, let's go ahead and bring up 10.5 take a look and see what that's like. go. See? Not too bad. Okay. What the heck? For grins here. Let's bring this up. Hey guys, welcome, and happy PowerPC Challenge 2022. I was watching Mac Geek a couple days ago, and I was inspired to make a video about... Oh, there we go. Anyhow, you can see it's pretty darn snappy. Blue Hell Firewall. Well. There's minimal skipping. There, you know, sometimes, I mean, any of you guys that play around with PowerPC computers, you realize that unless you have a really beefy Power Mac G5, you know, dual-core or quad-core machine, you often get a little bit of skippiness in the first, you know, 5-10 seconds of play as it buffers, but overall that's a fantastic experience, I think, for a machine that's single CPU and what is that, 15, 16, 17 years old. Anyhow, let's see, I think that kind of illustrates the GUI nature of this machine. Discord Lite, another one of my favorites. Pops up super fast on this machine. Pretty smooth, I think. You know, it's not any different in terms of, you know, GUI performance to Leopard. So I'm pretty darn happy with that. Anyhow, guys, if you have any questions, you know, feel free to leave any comments, or if you have any recommendations on better ways to, or additional ways rather, to benchmark, you know, two operating systems together, I would love to hear them. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Bye.